Welcome to the LIT Chats. My own name is Dave Reidy. I'm working in the marketing office here in LIT. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Joe Mulcahy, who is the section head of Culinary and Hospitality, who also works in the Department of Sport, Leisure and Tourism. Joe, you're very welcome.
Good morning, David. Thank you.
Joe, can you give us a small overview of the courses that you're the section head of?
The number of programs we run here at the moment, we have a Bachelor of Arts ordinary degree in Hospitality Supervision, which is a 3-year program. And alongside that, we also run the Bachelor of Arts in Culinary Arts, which is also a 3-year program. Both programs have a very high practical content. I'd say across both, you'd be looking at about 60% practicals. So for the hospitality program, we would have food and beverage practicals. They would have restaurant practicals. They would also have event planning module, which leads to a kind of a practical event as well as part of the program. In both programs, then there would be work placements at the end of the first year. So at the end of the first year, students would have the option to go on a work placement either nationally or indeed internationally. Students can get to travel to the US. We have a lot of employers over there and many other destinations in Europe. A lot of supports are in place for the work placement element. Whereby we have a placement office, but also their lecturers would have a lot of contacts in industry that we've built up over the years. So it's a very, very seamless product opportunity to go on a work placement, which many of our students avail of year on year. There is also for both programs at the end in the second semester of year 3, there's a 6-month work placement. So the first one was a summer work placement, a shorter one, but in the second semester of year 3, there's a 6-month work placement whereby students again can go off in many different destinations throughout the world. Of course, they don't have to travel around the world because we have many fantastic employment hoteliers and restaurants locally. So, there's many great training grounds that many of our students have went here within the local area as well. And of course, supporting the local region then as well from an employment perspective.
That's excellent to hear. Joe, just on both courses, we said the first I suppose the first placement opportunity. This is in the summer, and how do students find this placement? Is it, do they go out and find it themselves, or is it helped by LIT?
It's no, absolutely no. The supports are here. So firstly, we have a database of employers that we've worked with for almost 20 years, and that continues to grow year on year. We have lecturers who have knowledge of the industry, but not only do they have knowledge of the industry, they have knowledge of the students that they train on a day-to-day basis. So we're able to match their skills and abilities with the right employer. So we have a very, very high success rate for our students in work placement. It's 100%, and when I say high success and 100%, I also link that to our graduates. Once they graduate, there's 100% employment. There's always employment for our hospitality students and our culinary students. But no, supports are in place for the work placement, and we also have a work placement office. Now, at the end of the day, the students will say to us, well, look, I don't want to leave my own area. I want to stay in Limerick, I want to stay in Clare, and that's fine. And we would put forward, different options that would be in that area. But penultimately, the responsibility rests with the student, to go and get that placement, to go and get that job. But we will guide them and point them in the right direction, and there's plenty of supports in place to help them with that.
That's excellent to hear. And I suppose in terms of, is it a paid placement, or
It is. It is predominantly a paid placement, and students. I mean, look, they have the option if they want to go and work in a place whereby, that they feel the training is going to be, top shelf, and they choose not to go to paid placement. That's up to the student, but that's very rare. But predominantly, it is a paid placement. Students would have to choose not to go and work would have to choose to go and work in an unpaid placement if that's what they wanted to. But that we've had that happen in the past where students have done that.
I suppose that's the student's decision at the end of the day, if he
Exactly.
feels or she feels that they
Yeah.
might get something else out of going to a place that's unpaid. That's definitely probably the
Yeah.
student's decision.
What I will say, look, obviously considering the COVID pandemic and a lot of that, does actually, I think a lot of people are concerned that there's no work in the industry. Actually, quite the opposite. There's significant demand now for hospitality graduates and culinary graduates and work placements students. We get a significant amount of inquiries, and that has increased over the last number of weeks as we lead towards the reopening of the sector. So significant employment opportunities, and you can travel anywhere in the world with either our qualification.
And that's something that I just wanted to touch on just briefly. That we said COVID, we're hoping to, with vaccine rollouts and everything, that hopefully that's going to be in a past memory. But in terms of traveling on a placement abroad, has that affected it, or do we see that going back to normal, hopefully, coming into the next year?
Well, look, there's no doubt it has impacted it this year because the J1's situation isn't up and running, functioning. So it has impacted it this year. But look, we're all hopeful that after, I think the latest kind of announcement from the government just was with regards to, October is kind of when they see the final kind of cutoff on this thing, and hopefully the world will be in a different place this time next year.
Exactly. I'll just bring you back to what you mentioned at the start between the two courses. You mentioned it's a 3-year course, both the culinary and hospitality.
Yes.
I suppose after 3 years, what do they come out with? What degree level do they come out with?
So they will have a level 7 qualification. So if I can just firstly start with the culinary, we have just so once those students get to the end of the 3 years, the culinary guys will have the add-on option of a level 8 culinary entrepreneurship degree. So that's for any students who has any kind of notions of wanting to have their own business, restaurant, or indeed come up with a new product or develop a new dish or anything like that. So it's a really, really exciting degree, which has just been validated within the last couple of weeks. So students will have the option to progress on, the culinary students will have the option to do that add-on level 8. With the hospitality students, we're in the process of developing a new level 8 hospitality and resort management degree. So by the time these students get to the end of your 3 years, an add-on degree should be available by then. If I can mention with just both current level 7 degrees at the moment, if there are hospitality or culinary students decide at the end of stage 2 or year 2 that they can step off, there's an embedded award at level 6 whereby they can exit after year 2 if they so choose. For whatever reason, they might decide that they want to go and work at that stage, or for personal circumstances, that they can step off at the end of year 2. We wouldn't want them to leave, of course. We want them to stay for, to get the whole 3 or indeed 4 years experience here. But the option is there if a student decides that they want to take that option.
So basically, they're coming in for a 3-year course. After 2 years, there is an award there, a level 6 award. So if for whatever reason, if an employment opportunity came up, or again, as you said, personal circumstance, they can step back and come away from LIT with a level 6 degree.
A level 6, a higher certificate. Level 6.
Perfect. And then they also have the option of staying on, completing the level 7, and coming away with a level 7 bachelor's degree.
Yeah, and like when they exit at that level 6 after the 2 years, they can just come back and do the add-on. If they want to take a year out, there's an add-on option there for them to come back and do that. They can join and an add-on degree level 7 or whatever. Yeah.
Excellent. Again, just going back to the I suppose placements, but once they complete the level 7 and hopefully the level 8, the 4 years, what's the employment opportunities like? What else can they do? How high can they go we say in terms of employment?
Well, I mean, look, from a hospitality graduate, you can progress on with obviously a number of years experience to senior manager or front office positions or senior management positions, or indeed general managers of a hotel or a resort. And the same with the culinary guys, with a significant number of years of experience, they could go out into industry probably at chef de partie level, and then move up, over a number of years to sous chef, head chef, and indeed executive chefs, with some pretty significant career opportunities and high profile positions within the industry. Which bring good conditions and stuff like that as well. So the world is their oyster. It depends on where they work. I think their placements are obviously hugely important. They play a significant role. The first experience of industry. So we would try and guide them towards working in the best establishments, which will benefit their career.
Excellent. I suppose I won't keep you too much longer, but just another one. When a student is applying for either culinary or hospitality, have you any advice, or does a student need to be creative in terms of culinary, or any general advice when applying here for LIT?
Well, I suppose, look, having had a feel for the industry would be good, and probably maybe working part-time or something like that in a hotel, restaurant, or bar. Having I suppose liking the service industry is key. Having that enthusiasm and passion for it. But when they come on board, I mean, we have a very small team and a very small unit here. It's everybody will feel comfortable in a kind of in an active learning environment. I mean, that's kind of what we promote as an active learning environment. It's here, so I think they will enjoy the experience here once again.
And just one final thing, if a student maybe hasn't done the likes of home economics coming for leaving cert, are they disadvantaged once they come into either course, or are you starting from the beginning?
No, they're not in the slightest bit disadvantaged. Everybody starts on the level playing field. I mean, whether they come in as a mature student or whatever with a number of years of experience, everybody starts at the ground level, and everybody's brought up at the same pace, because that's really important from all students' perspective. As I said, whether or not they have a number of years experience, we all start at zero and move our way up. That's it. So they won't be disadvantaged at all.
Excellent to hear. I suppose I'll wrap it up here now, Joe, and thank you very much for taking time to speak to us today. I suppose if anyone has any further questions, you can send an email into schools@lit.ie, and one of the team members here or Joe himself will get back to you straight away.
Absolutely.
Again, thanks very much, Joe.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.